In today's video, we're going to have a look at the granny square, so stick with me and I'll show you how. We begin by making a chain of 4 and we insert our hook back into that first chain and we join the two ends together by making a slip stitch. So now we should have a little ring made of 4 chains. We make a chain of 3 to bring our work up to the height of a double crochet, and working into the ring we make 2 more double crochets. And then we chain 3. Working into the ring again, we make a cluster of 3 double crochets. And chain 3. Make 3 more double crochets into the ring. And chain 3. Into the ring we make 3 double crochets. And chain 3. We should now have 4 groups of 3 double crochets followed by 3 chain stitches. That chain 3 at the beginning of the round counting as a double crochet. We now complete the round by making a slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 from the start of the round. We want to move our yarn across to this next chain space, so we make a slip stitch into each of the next 2 double crochets. And we make a slip stitch into that chain space. We chain 3 to bring our height up to a double crochet. This chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. And we double crochet 2 more into that chain space. We chain 3 and double crochet 3 more into the same chain space. We've completed a corner. Now that we're working along the edge of the square, we make a chain of 1. And then we make 3 double crochets into the next chain space. And to make our next corner, we chain 3. We make 3 double crochets into that same chain space. And now we're working along the edge of the square, so we make a chain of 1. And then make 3 double crochets into the next chain space. We're in the corner, so we make a chain of 3. And 3 more double crochets back into that same chain space. We're along the edge again, so we make a chain of 1. We then make 3 double crochets into the next chain space. And back in the corner we chain 3. and we make 3 more double crochets into that same chain space. And we're along the edge, so we make a chain of 1. We're at the end of the round, so we complete by making a slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 from the beginning of the round. If you want to continue using the same colour, you can make slip stitches into the next 2 double crochets and another into the chain space and continue from there. But I'm going to change colours here, so I'm going to cut my yarn and cast off. I'm going to add my new colour by casting on with a slip knot. I then start in any one of the chain spaces. I usually choose the one in the middle. We insert our hook into the chain space, yarn over and pull it through the loop on the hook, making a slip stitch. Chain 3 to bring the yarn up to the height of a double crochet. And double crochet 2 into that same chain space. And we're working along the edge of the square, so we make a chain of 1. Into the next chain space we make 3 double crochets. Now we're in a corner, so we make a chain of 3. And we make 3 more double crochets into that same chain space. We're working along the edge of the square, so we make a chain of 1. And we make 3 double crochets into the next chain space. And chain 1. Into the next chain space we make 3 double crochets. And we're in the corner, so we make a chain of 3. And we make 3 more double crochets into that same chain space. And we're back to working along the edge, so we make a chain of 1. Continue working the round by making a cluster of 3 double crochets into each chain space and a chain of 1 between each cluster. When you reach the corner, make a cluster of 3 double crochets, then a chain of 3, then 3 more double crochets into the same chain space. When we reach the end of the round and we make our final chain stitch, we insert a hook into the top of the chain 3 from the beginning of the round and complete the round with a slip stitch. You can continue using the same colour by slip stitching across to the next chain space, or you can cut your yarn and cast off and add a new colour. To add a new colour, I cast onto my hook with a slip knot and insert my hook into any one of the chain spaces along my work, and I connect it with a slip stitch. I chain 3 to bring the work up to the height of a double crochet and put 2 more double crochets into that same chain space. And chain 1. We move along to the next chain space and make a cluster of 3 double crochets. We carry on along the round, making a cluster of 3 double crochets into each chain space with a chain 1 between each cluster. When we reach the chain of 3 in the corner, we make a cluster of 3 double crochets, followed by a chain 3 and 3 more double crochets into the same chain space. When we reach the end of the round, we make our final chain stitch and we insert our hook into the top of the chain 3 from the beginning of the round and join together with a slip stitch. We then cut our yarn and cast off, or you can continue working in the same colour. We then weave in all our ends. If you want to, you can continue working until your square becomes the size of a blanket, or you can just stop at 4 rounds, making a small granny square. You can make many which you can join together to make a patchwork blanket. We'll cover that in another video. And that's how to make a granny square.